Deuteronomy 24. Suppose a man gets married to a woman, but later he decides he doesn't like her. He finds something shameful about her, so he gives her a letter of divorce and sends her away from his house. Then after she leaves his house, she becomes another man's wife. But her second husband doesn't like her either, so he gives her a letter of divorce and sends her away from his home. Or perhaps he dies. Then her first husband isn't allowed to marry her again. The Lord would hate that. When her first husband divorced her, she became unclean. Don't bring sin on the land the Lord your God is giving you as your own. Suppose a man has just got married. Then don't send him into battle. Don't give him any other duty either. He's free to stay home for 1 year. He needs time to make his new wife happy. Someone might borrow money from you and give you 2 millstones to keep until you are paid back. But don't keep them. Don't even keep the upper one. The person depends on the millstones to make a living. Suppose a man is caught kidnapping another Israelite, and he sells or treats that person as a slave. Then the kidnapper must die. Get rid of that evil person. What about skin diseases? Be careful to do exactly what the priests, who are the Levites, tell you to do. You must be careful to follow the commands I've given them. Remember what the Lord your God did to Miriam on your way out of Egypt. Suppose your neighbor borrows something from you, and he offers you something to keep until you get paid back. Then don't go into his house to get it. Stay outside. Let the man bring it out to you. He might be poor. He might be given his coat to keep until you get paid back. Don't go to sleep while you still have it. Return it before the sun goes down. He needs it to sleep in and will thank you for returning it. The Lord your God will see it and know that you have done the right thing. Don't take advantage of any hired worker who is poor and needy. That applies to your own people. It also applies to outsiders who are living in one of your towns. Give them their pay every day. They are poor and are counting on it. If you don't pay them, they might cry out to the Lord against you. Then you will be guilty of committing a sin. Parents must not be put to death because of what their children do, and children must not be put to death because of what their parents do. People must die because of their own sins. Do what is right and fair for outsiders and for children whose fathers have died. Suppose a widow borrows something from you, and she offers to give you her coat until she pays you back. Don't take it. Remember that you were slaves in Egypt. Remember that the Lord your God set you free from there. That's why I'm commanding you to do those things. When you are gathering crops in your field, you might leave some grain behind by mistake. Don't go back to get it. Leave it for outsiders and widows. Leave it for your children whose fathers have died. Then the Lord your God will bless you in everything you do. When you knock olives off your trees, don't go back over the branches a second time. Leave what remains for outsiders and widows. Leave it for children whose fathers have died. When you pick grapes in your vineyard, don't go back over the vines a second time. Leave what remains for outsiders and widows. Leave it for children whose fathers have died. Remember that you were slaves in Egypt. That's why I'm commanding you to do those things.